Hey, have you heard there's an easier way to podcast?
No, what is it?
It's called Anchor.
Anchor? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's free. Let me explain. There's creation tools that gives you the ability to record plus edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will automatically distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
Oh, really?
Not just that. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So if you're interested in doing a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So,
Don't mind the smacking.
I often say don't mind the smacking because we're eating. We stated in the very first episode that random, and so you're gonna get us at our authenticest point.
Most authentic point.
I had to make up a word.
Conversation at its finest.
Mm-hmm. So. This episode is about dating someone with disability.
Oh, I was ready to talk about something else. You tricked me, huh?
No, we got that coming. But
Dating with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might officially be the first disabled person I've dated.
That's vouch to be disabled.
Okay. With a semi-physical, visible disability. People can have disabilities that are unseen, such as mental health issues, which is what he's referring to.
Cause baby, I've dated some disabled people. Boy, I tell you.
So we're talking about a true disability, something which you can
I have some questions on
with
this too,
medical issues.
Yeah, I have some questions on this too.
So you got some questions.
Yeah.
So he has some questions for me. So this is an interview of me and his relationship. If we hadn't said it before, we're gonna say it now. Mr. is disabled, not physically. He's not missing any limbs. Nothing's broken or displaced. I mean, he's a full-blown human. He was diagnosed with MS in 2011, so he has physical ailments at times. And so I guess he's going to diagnose and question and dissect my reasoning on why I'm dating him and he's disabled.
I'm kind of concerned because you said... Wait, what did you say? You just said I'm a human. So I'm trying to figure out what else would I be?
A whole human. I don't know. Sometimes you act like a little alien. From another planet.
Okay, so... Like, our first meeting, which if you haven't learned yet by listening to the previous episode at our Valentine Challenge, it will tell you how we met. It was at her job. But, so basically...
The first time I saw him, I didn't think disabled, but I thought, what the fuck? And that's just in my head. And excuse my language if you don't. This is definitely not PG-13 at all times.
But I was taking 23 medications.
Yeah, so he was like, I want to get my medicines transferred. And I was like, okay, sure, I can do that for you. Happy-go-lucky, went click, click, click. Oh, he got a lot of stuff on here. What's wrong with him? And so, yeah, it was like, he look like he might be a nice God, whatever, but he got some issues going on that need to be explained. So he probably was thinking, damn, she's the finest thing since sliced bread when he saw me.
Actually, I did. That was the moment where God said, let it be light. And there you go, my son. If you do what you need to do in these couple of weeks and months and years to come, you shall be blessed with the union of this lovely lady. Yeah, she was playing hard to get, but yeah.
God didn't give me that message, so. But here we are, nonetheless. Yeah. He was pretty persistent too. But again, looking at him, you would never say, "Oh, well, he's disabled." And he's told me stories of where he's gone places and he parks in handicap parking and people look at him like, "Well, ain't nothing wrong with you. Why you parking in a handicap parking spot?"
That one moment with that old lady. I mean, she was bending wide open trying to figure out. And then when I put my little, because I didn't have a license plate, then I had the little decal thing in where it hang up in the, and when I put it, oh, okay. I was finna say, you didn't say what?
Right.
You know.
Like, ma'am, who are you?
Yeah, that was my first experience of the walking in the
handicap.
Handicap and getting harassed by older people.
So, yeah. Question number 1, I guess.
Yeah, so pretty much kind of like, I was like, you know, you kind of knew off rip I had this issue already, right?
You had an issue. I
had
didn't
an
know
issue.
what it was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It wasn't until like a couple of months
really
later
didn't know
that
what
it
was
was
wrong with me.
explained. Even, well, it wasn't until we like started talking that I actually knew.
That you knew what. So, that was the first question. And can you remember the first moment that we talked about my disability? I don't remember.
I don't either. But I think I just kind of showed me what it was. And I went and did some research. And
I like that though. But I really
I didn't attack you about it or whatever because it still was like very vague. And then when you started explaining to me later, like sometimes you'll be ailing or things will be bothering you and you can't, it's like I can't see it or feel it or really even do anything to help you with it. So it was just, it's a day-by-day process.
But I respected you about the fact that you did the research and I didn't ask or I didn't even expect you to, but it was one of those situations where I had just come from out of a marriage where
you weren't comfortable with your disability.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with my disability. This person knew my disability from head to toe, and this response that I get from you is just totally different. Yeah. Very welcoming when it comes to that.
And I've even been questioned before.
Yeah.
About okay.
Yeah, yes.
I'm moving ahead.
Yeah, you going a little too fast. Yeah, that's coming. Girl, that dip is gone.
Yeah, it's good. It really is.
Wow.
It's really good.
We should have kept the package and see what.
Probably. It was bacon jalapeno popper by Carney's.
Okay, you remember the name. So
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I googled it on my phone too.
Oh, okay.
I found a recipe.
All right, so I think you kind of expressed it already, but I'm still gonna ask the question.
Okay.
When I told you what was wrong, how did you feel and what did you do? But you, like you just stated, you kind of did the research.
I did my research because I didn't know what it was and had no idea. I've heard of it before, but I never really even met or seen anybody that actually had it.
No, I beg to differ. You have that. It didn't stand out until you started talking to me because of your work.
Yeah,
so people have been there. You just ain't know.
Again, so it's, I don't know, maybe it's a silent disorder, kind of like lupus. I have been around somebody who had lupus before, and to me, lupus and MS are similar.
We're like cousins
in so many ways. So yeah,
crazy.
And no, I do have a cousin who has lupus. So yeah, shout out to you, cousin. She's in remission, been in remission a long time. She's doing really good. You know, she changed her diet, exercise, and I think
That's pretty much what happened with me. Changing up my diet is, and I think that's best for all of us in having an immune disorder.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, even for a normal person, diet and exercise seem to be important. Health is important.
Something we take for granted.
Yeah.
So, now you can answer the question.
Okay.
Have you had anyone look at you sideways if you said to them the person you were dating was disabled?
Yes, it actually happened at work. One of my coworkers asked me, so are you okay with being with someone who has a disability for the rest of their life?
Good.
And I was like, yeah, what would be the difference? It's no different than being with somebody who has ADHD or anything else wrong with them, and if going according to tradition, through sickness and health, for better or for worse, regardless, everybody needs love. It's just like a skinny person or a fat person or a light-skinned person, dark-skinned person, Asian. Everybody needs love, regardless, And again, it's not like I can look at him and say, oh, he's disabled, he's broken. Even if he were missing a leg, it still wouldn't make a difference to me.
And I think it's kind of hard for people, especially even if, like, in the sense of what I come across with, which I am a MS advocate, and I run a group on Facebook. So if anyone just happened to listen to this and they have MS, please, by all means, look us up on Facebook or Instagram. That I Can Beat MS. It's spelled just how it's ICAN.
I think that technically gives away who Mr. is in this podcast.
Yeah. But I talk to a lot of people and that are married or in a relationship, and they end up losing their partner due to the fact that they're not the same anymore. Right. And so their partner is so used to them being a particular person. And trust me, there are times where I am, and I feel like I'm not myself. And like again, my previous marriage, even with my kids, it took a moment before my kids started to be like, okay, this is an everyday. This is maybe not an everyday thing, but this is something I'm used to. Like I stated, the time that I was, the ambulance had to come get me, and it kind of bothered me that my kids was like, this is a normal thing. So I'm really not concerned that, you finna go to the hospital, probably finna be admitted for a couple of days. You'll be back. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how they acted. And to me, it was like, wow.
Is that how you feel? So
really?
I'm not important. My well-being doesn't,
yeah,
come off as important.
So, I don't know. It's a little different coming from the experience of, and I'm not saying that they didn't care. But at the end of the day,
there was really not, they couldn't do anything to help you.
Yeah, but it's still at some point
that support would have been
appreciated. Yeah. So you have these MS warriors out there that basically have their partners leave because they can't handle.
Yeah, and you found out like in the middle of your marriage, kind of.
Excuse me. You got married in 2005. Yeah, pretty much 2011. Finding that is an understatement. I think it was brought on by anger. Again, if you happen to listen to this, any of our listeners, by all means, go look this up. MS, multiple sclerosis. It's something that you can be born with, not even knowing that you have it, and die not even knowing that you have it. And so, it would be great to have some research done on it, because you may have a friend or a cousin that just may end up being diagnosed. Hopefully not. But, yeah, so did they come off to you that they probably couldn't date or be with anyone like that?
That's what it seemed like to me. But I mean, I like people. I like people who they are, and regardless of what disability anybody has. There's people out there with physical disabilities and they have lost limbs or born without stuff, and they're amazing people.
Yeah, man, we've seen some folks that ain't have neither limb, and they were doing some heck of a stuff.
Like, born different is so intriguing to me. I like watching it, because it's amazing how people are not what we consider normal, and at the end of the day, who the hell are we to determine what's normal and what's not, My normal self might actually be weird to somebody else, but, it is what it is.
It is, if you think about it, because they're so used to not having limbs. Mm-hmm. So, to them, we are not normal, because that's so normal.
Even with mental illness, people think different, act different, respond different to different things. So, I mean, it's just, even a normal person, you don't even have to do nothing with a disability.
No. All right, so,
Okay, next question is weird, huh?
Yeah, so, this might not matter to you.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask you anyway.
Okay.
All right, so, let me say, this girl is, like, bomb.com, right?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't say all that, but okay.
Before we even, like, made this relationship serious, I asked you to take me to the doctor when I went to go get my prostate.
So, yeah, okay. So I went to, we weren't even dating, and he needed to go to the urologist because he was having some issues.
My prostate was
and at the end of the day, it was something. No. It was because something you ate.
Oh,
yeah. So
no. I actually was bleeding, and it was swole.
Okay, so he was having some bleeding, and his prostate was swollen. But he had also ate something too. Some beet chips.
The beet chips, and if you don't know, guys, do not eat beet chips because it's gonna make you piss red. It makes it seem like you're pissing blood, right? And so, actually, I was having some issues, and that it was some blood found in my urine, and I went and got checked. Unfortunately, got probed with the fingers. Doctor found out that my prostate was swollen. Not sure why, but no. Let me correct that.
One of the multiple symptoms of multiple sclerosis.
Not even that. He said that they were. I mean, words from him. It was oddly shaped. It was a concern, right? So I went through the process of waiting and getting tested and
everything was fine.
But then I started going through this regimen of eating right, supposedly, and the missus told me about these vegetable chips, and so these vegetable fries.
Told him to eat
these vegetable fries, and so I'm like, hey, I'm finna try the vegetable chip, and she don't like beets, but these chips happen to have beets in them. And I ain't know anything about beets. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't eat beets. But those chips were fine.
Good, so he was down.
And I was down on them chips left and right. And so I would go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom this night. And I started peeing. And my pee came out. I mean, blood red.
So mind you, I'm in healthcare. And so I'm that friend that everybody comes to and asks me weird questions. So I didn't find it weird. He called me and asked, like, hey, I peed today. And it was like red. And it's been happening all day. And I was like, oh, okay, you straining or something? You ate some? What's going on? Is it hurting? Are you in pain? I just feel like I'm that friend who would help a friend in need.
Well,
even in no strings attached. I didn't mind taking you to the doctor.
So that's what I'm saying. I know it didn't matter to you because you that type of person.
Yeah, it don't matter. It could have been anybody. It could have been any of my male friends or female friends. It wouldn't matter.
But I can't remember what was.
Because I take my grandma to the doctor too, so it didn't bother me.
The biggest issue is I can't remember what was said when I came out.
You were delusional, talking a lot of trash anyway. So
what did you remember?
He was telling me that he loved me and all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like, dude, we not even together. I just met you a couple months ago. I'm like that. But okay, sure.
I just remember.
I think it was a
I remember. No, I remember an embarrassing moment, but I just can't remember what was said.
The nurse said something, and I think I corrected her quickly. Oh no, I'm not that. I'm just his friend, you know.
Wow.
But it's okay. I mean, we worked as friends. And you knew that friendship for me at the beginning of our relationship was very important anyway, so.
Yeah.
Be my friend first. If I can't talk to you, then why the hell are we together? Next question.
Well, is it weird to say that I receive extra energy from you outside of me wanting to beat this for me? Meaning, I get a, knowing that I'm in a relationship.
But even if you never beat it, it's okay with me. I mean, I've accepted the fact that it's a random part of your life that you have no control over. So
yeah. I guess
it's not like they have a cure. Even if they did have a cure and you weren't cured of it, even if, say, you had AIDS, I think I would still be okay with saying, hey, you're my friend and I'm not going anywhere. Everybody needs somebody. I'm not a rude little bitch. I can be, but in that perspective, no. And I don't feel sorry for him, so don't get it twisted. No.
Yeah, you have a lot. Don't stay in a relationship with someone because you feel sorry for them. I think that's what my ex-wife did.
Again, because
I think she felt like she
had I not known he was disabled, like he's a regular person. Like he runs circles around me. I try to outdo him 95% of the time or catch up with him.
Yeah, it's only because in the back of my head is that tomorrow's not promised.
So make the most of every day.
Make the most of every day because I don't know, honestly, when this illness is going to want to just say, you know what, I'm taking you out today.
No, you've had enough fun. Let's wreak havoc on this, that, or the other.
And it is possible. So, last question.
Mm-hmm.
If we were doing a seminar,
yeah,
and one would ask, what would you tell someone that liked someone but was scared to talk to them because they were disabled?
You have to look past the disability and really see that person for who they are and decide if that's what you want to do. It's just like even with a normal person. Just make sure that this is what you want to do for the rest of your life. Because again, you may be disabled. Nothing may ever happen to you. There's like a 50-50 chance. And again, I'm normal, supposedly, and nothing's wrong with me. I can get in a car accident tomorrow and be paralyzed from the waist down.
I think that's my biggest issue that I try to explain.
You know, and it could be me
you,
incapacitated. You're taking care of me.
Yeah, just because you feel that, you are quote-unquote normal, it doesn't mean that something can't happen to you next day.
Right. You know,
and a lot of people,
my face could be burned tomorrow. And I got to be worried about whether or not this man disabled, but ain't nothing wrong with him. He can go find somebody else, and instead of dealing with my old, ugly, broke down, feeling sorry for myself behind.
Yeah.
So put the shoe on the other foot. Make sure you're comfortable in your skin. I mean, I'm comfortable with myself, and I'm comfortable with taking care of you if I need be, because at the end of the day, you're my friend. Even if you can't provide another thing for me from here on out. Excuse you.
Excuse me, I wasn't finished.
I know.
Excuse me.
Okay.
And so the main thing is definitely if you're thinking about walking down that aisle, questioning yourself. Ask yourself seriously, am I in it?
For the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yes. And now we're not saying stay in a relationship that's harmful. What I mean is things happen to where, people lose jobs. Now, if a person is sitting at home for 7 years and don't want to work because, I just got that bug, or I've been out for 2 years and I'm feeling great by you taking care of me and ain't doing nothing at home, by all means,
So long as that's what you agree with and are okay with.
If you ain't down with it, you gotta leave. Open your mouth, say something, leave. But outside of that, with the good and the bad, through sickness, through health type situation, a lot of people get married and they look past the fact that it's pretty much what marriage is. Anything can happen. Anything's possible.
Yeah, and that would go into also the conversation we probably gonna have later about blah blah blah. So we'll hit on that.
So again, you guys can follow us at Mr. and Mrs. Take Over the World on IG, and by all means, feel free to
leave us a voicemail. Reply under our post when we post snippets of a conversation, and let us know what topics you want to hear about. What do you want to know about us? We do weird research on weird things. We're weird people.
Give us a review on Apple too. We would love a review.
If you don't like our voices, then tell us that too.
I ain't changing it. But you guys have a great night.
Talk to you next time. Bye.